expressions, different English expressions. In my lecture, I will introduce different English expressions of Wang Wen Wen Qi. The second point, therapies in Zhongyi emphasizes tactile stimulation. That means the doctors observe a patient's tone, voice, requires about the patient's habits and medical history, and feels the patient's pulse to make diagnosis. And doctors give massage or gua sha or cupping to cure the patients. And the third point, I think, is herbal medicines are selected from natural plants and are processed to cure different diseases. We will talk about herbal medicines. The fourth point also is very important. People are healthy as long as their body system remains balanced. So this is also one of the philosophy background of Chinese TCM, balance. The value of balance, the values. Last week we learned 12 Chinese traditional values. One of them is balance. Because Zhongyi believes that human body has its own functional system. Now let's see some facts about TCM. TCM is an integral part of Chinese culture. It's a very important part of Chinese culture. Is from TCM originated from the working of the ancient Chinese people, and they accumulated the experiences of life, work, and treating or dealing with nature. So TCM is an important part of Chinese culture. The second point is TCM is an empirical science. It's a well of medical knowledge gained from over 4,000 years of observation, investigation, and clinical experience. That means TCM has a history over 4,000 years, more than 4,000 years. And TCM has made great contributions to the prosperity of China. The common theoretical concepts include various forms of herbal medicine, acupuncture, massage, exercise, and dietary therapy. So this is also a very important point, the common theoretical concepts. The fourth point, TCM's view of the body puts little emphasis on anatomical structures. Here, little emphasis on anatomical structures, but is mainly concerned with the identification of functional entities. While health is perceived as harmless interaction of these entities on the outside world, disease is interpreted as a disharmony in interaction. In this point, harmony is a very important, is a keyword. The fifth point, TCM is used by 75% of the areas in China. And it's also, is very effective. Is very effective in treatment of cancers and other serious diseases. In China now, a lot of people who got cancers or chronic diseases, they always seek help from TCM. Facts have proved to be proved TCM is very helpful in the treatment of cancers. The last point is today, TCM with its unique diagnostic methods, systematic approaches, abundant historical literature and materials, has attracted more attention from the international community. That means the whole world has been interested in TCM gradually. Now, the third point I'd like to talk about history of TCM. The picture, please see the picture. The man here with the name Shen Nong. We've heard about something about Shen Nong, San Huang Wu Di. When we learn Chinese history, we learned San Huang Wu Di. Shen Nong is one of the three emperors. Yeah, in ancient time, there was no medicine. Many people died of light illness because of no efficient medicine. So Shen Nong felt that he had the responsibilities to protect his people's life. He tasted kind of herbs to find out the treatment of many common diseases. This is the legend history of TCM, and is the origin of traditional Chinese medicine. There's a Chinese saying, 神农尝百草. 神农尝百草. This is the saying. Shen Nong tasted 100 species of herbs, 长百草, and almost 70 species of poisonous plants a day. This is just a legend. To some extent, we can believe it is true. It's true. The repeated experience brought knowledge which was passed down through the ages. Now let's see the dynasties. In the different dynasties, TCM developed little by little. In 夏朝, alcohol was produced in China, and alcohol was used to treat diseases. And Shang, we learned Shang dynasty. Shang dynasty was the longest dynasty in China. Chinese history. Shang, medical herb decoctions were being produced. And in Western Zhou, Xizhou, practitioners appeared dealing with nutriology, medicine, surgery, veterinary medicine. More than 4,000 years ago. And in spring and autumn, 春秋时期, the excess of any of the 6 climate conditions was the cause of the disease. People in those days believe the excess of any of the 6 climatic conditions was the cause of disease. Now, the climatic conditions refers to cloudy day, sunny day, windy day, rainy, dark and light and bright. And during warring days, there's a book, very important book in TCM appeared. A health preserving science appeared. The book, the title of the book is The Inner Canal of Huangdi. And by the way, 黄帝内经 in Chinese, 黄帝内经 also has different English names. Here, I used the translation, The Inner Canoe of Huangdi. And in Qing and Han dynasty, there's a very great traditional Chinese medical works, Shen Nong's medical, 神农本草经 And another great work is 伤寒杂病论 The treatise on cold pathologic and miscellaneous diseases. And in Qing and Han dynasty, there's a great doctor, Hua Tu. Was a therapist of the end of the Eastern Han dynasty. That means in Qing and Han dynasty. He is proficient in inside, outside, acupuncture in all subjects. Hua Tu was called the father of surgery in China. The father of surgery in China. In Wei and Jin dynasty, there's another book, Paul's Classic. And in Sui dynasty, there's another medical work, 诸病源候论. In Tang dynasty, Tang Chao, it was proposed that the doctrine of the motion of the 5 phases and 6 natural factors were used in diagnosis and treating the patients. The motions of the 5 phases and 6 natural factors. In Song dynasty, there is a great development in the theory of medicine in China. People combined the heavenly stems and the earthly branches with it, so that the theory on Chinese medicine developed a lot. The heavenly stems, 天干, earthly branches, 地支. This is quite complicated. I don't want to explain here what are heavenly stems and what are earthly branches. Now, from this, the principles and the methods of therapy could be worked out. This is the history, brief history of TCM. Now, this is quite important point. I'd like to talk about today. Philosophical background of TCM. TCM is a unique and comprehensive system, distinctive from the Western medicine. Philosophically speaking, the understanding of a human body in TCM can be compared to the understanding of the whole universe. To the understanding of the whole universe. 3 theories are taken as the fundamental basis of TCM. 3 theories. The first one is the theory of yin and yang. Yin and yang. In Chinese, yin yang论. The theory of yin and yang. The second theory is the 5 phases. 5 phases, 五行论. The last one is the theory of Jing and Luo. Jing, Luo, here. This is Chinese. Jing, Luo, yin, yang. The Chinese, not English. Now let's look through the theories one by one. That's quite complicated. And first, before we talk about theory of yin and yang, maybe You can recognize this picture. This is 8 diagrams. 8 diagrams. Also, is a kind yin and yang symbol for balance. Symbol for balance. In Chinese, 叫八卦图。八卦图。Now, what are yin? What are yang? Yin and yang are distinctively Chinese expressions of a unique way of viewing the world on the greater universe. The greater universe. That means in Chinese people, the mind, everything existing in the world is composed of yin and yang. For example, people, 人，男人和女人 male or female. Now, according to the theory of yin and yang, male is yang, female is yin. And to the greater universe, for example, 太阳和月亮 the sun and the moon. According to the theory, the sun is yang, the moon is yin. Yeah. What yin and yang point to and represent is so vast that they encompass everything in the universe. Sorry. Just a minute. Someone are looking at my door. Give me 2 minutes. Sorry. Okay, what yin and yang point to and represent is so vast that they encompass everything in the universe. And everything contains yin and yang characteristics. They are two opposite, yet complementary energies. Although they're totally different, they're opposite in the individual qualities and in nature, they are interdependent. One can't exist without the other. They're never separate. They're never separate. That means yin can transform into yang under certain conditions. It can do this because yang is present in yin. Yeah. So there's a balance. There's balance. But the relationship goes beyond balance to a relationship of harmony. This inseparable and interpenetrating relationship is reflected by the yin-yang symbol, by the symbol on on our left, yin-yang symbol. In the circular symbol, the small dots, there are two dots, black one and white one. The small dots within each of the two energies, represented by black and white, symbolize that there is always some yin or yang within the other one. Although this part is white, but there's a black dot in it. That means there's some yin in the yang. That is quite complicated. The fourth point, when two things are balanced, that means the dark areas and the white areas are balanced, they are equal, but may be separate. In a relationship of harmony, the two energies blend into one seamless whole. The two energies, the dark, the black, the white, represent two energies. When the two energies blend into one seamless whole, it means the relationship is harmless. As perfectly embodied by the swinging yin and yang symbol. This means there's a dynamic. This means there is a dynamic flow happening that automatically and continuously balances and rebalances these energies that keep going and they keep balanced. According to this theory, everything in the universe consists of two opposite properties which are also independent on each other, yin and yang. These two basic factors are guided by the universal law of unity. When applied to medicine, here, how this method was used in traditional Chinese medicine. This theory holds that yin and yang exist between inside and outside aspects of every tissue and structure of the human body. So Chinese TCM practitioners diagnose patient. He or she will use 4 methods to find out the yin and the yang in the patient. When these two aspects are kept within certain bounds that represents a good balance, the body is in good health. But if the balance is broken, diseases are sure to occur. So this is the theory of yin and yang. The concept of yin and yang is also applicable to human body, for example, the upper part of the body and the back are assigned to yang. That means for a person, the upper part refers from the waist, Above your waist is yang, below your waist is yin. The back, your back is yang, your front is yin. So while the lower part of the body and the front are believed to have the yin character. The yin and yang characterization also extends to the various body functions. Body functions. And more importantly, to disease symptoms. Thus, yin and yang of the body are seen as phenomena whose lack or overabundance comes with characteristic symptom combinations. So this is quite important points. Now on our right, Chinese traditional philosophers distinguish yin and yang, everything from the human body to the greater universe. For example, moon is yang or yin, sun yang. Gender, female is yin, male yang. According to location, inside yin, outside yang. Temperature, the temperature cold is yin, hot is yang. And direction, downward yin, upward yang. Degree of humidity, damp or moist is yin, dry is yang. There's some Chinese expression also have the meaning of yin and yang. Luoyang is a city in Shanxi province. Luoyang was the ancient capitals of many dynasties. But there's yang, Luoyang. Yang means it's the south bank of Luo River. Luo means river. Luoyang, sorry. There's a word Luo. Luoyang. And see the words. Here, Luo refers to the river. The name is Luohe. Yang is the south bank. And another place in China, the Jiangyin. Jiangyin is in Jiangsu province. Jiangyin. Jiang refer here Changjiang River, Yangtze River. Yin is the north bank. north bank of Yangtze River. So for rivers, for a river, the two banks, yeah, the south bank and the north bank, that's yin and yang. This is the theory of yin and yang. Sorry. Now the second theory is the theory of five phases. What are five phases? Here, 五行论. According to Chinese philosophy, all phenomena of the universe and nature can be broken down into five elemental qualities, represented by wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Here, wood, 木 fire, 火 earth, 土 metal, 金 water, 水. Here, pay attention to this sentence. All phenomena of the universe and nature can be broken down into five elemental qualities. The strict rules are identified to apply to the relationship between the five phases in terms of sequence of acting on each other, of counteracting action, and all these aspects of five phases theory consist the basis of the Zangfu concept, and thus have great influence regarding the TCM model of the body. Here, Zangfu means the organs in our chest or in abdomen. The internal organs such as liver, heart, spleen, lung, and kidney. This is 脏腑. Yeah, 脏腑. The five-phase theory is also applied in diagnosis and therapy. This is the main point. The main points. Now, in this theory, the internal organs, just now I mentioned, just now I said, the internal organs, such as liver, heart, spleen, lung, kidney, correspond with the five elements in the universe. Correspond with the five elements in the world. For example, the liver people think the liver is considered to have the quality of wood. The liver has the quality of the wood, which can be easily lit up by fire. So a man with a liver disorder can easily get angry. According to TCM, if a person is bad-tempered, he is sure to have disease in his liver. As in the general world, these elements are interconnected, and the relationship can be summed up as generation and restraint here. This is generation of and overcoming. The sheng or generating circle here, sheng, the dark arrows. The clockwise sequence on the circle represents the sheng circle. Each element is the mother of the next. Each element is the mother of the element of the next. For example, metal. Here, metal produces water. Metal is the mother of water because metal produces water. But water nourishes wood. If the wood wants to grow up, they need water. Wood fuels fire. Yeah, and fire makes earth. Earth yields metal. So this is the generating circle. 我们叫生圈. And the ke or regulating circle or overcoming interaction circle. The ke圈, here pay attention to the word ke圈. The clockwise sequence produced by the pentagon. Pentagon represents the regulating or destructive circle. For example, fire. Here, fire. Fire can melt metal. Fire can melt metal. A metal can cut wood. And wood can contain earth. Wood can contain earth. And earth can absorb water. Water can extinguish fire. So this is the ke circle or regulating circle. But it's quite complicated. Here, this generating or regulating, because the different elements represent different different organs, internal organs. For example, jin refers to lungs and 大肠. Yeah, 大肠. For example, mu stands for liver and 胆, kidney. Yeah. Now the third theory is 经络论. From the picture, we can see a man has many 经 and 络. Yeah, the theory of 经 and 络 is a theory important to such medical practices as acupuncture and acupressure in TCM. So 经络is very important. And it holds that the internal human organs are all linked into network by channels through which blood and qi means vital energy, circulation. The channels, a lot of channels, 就是经络 channels here refers to 经络. But what is 经? What is 络? Yeah, the main channels that ran longitudinally from above from the head to the toes. Yeah, this are called 经. While the branches that ran sorry, it's difficult to read this word. Latitudinally are regarded as 络. These channels also provide communication between the body and its environment. And the blockage of blood and qi in either 经 and 络 seriously affects people's health. In this case, to clear the blockage, to ensure the free flow of blood and qi, is a fundamental step in curing diseases. So from this theory, Chinese people invent therapies such as acupuncture or acupressure. Before you do acupuncture, you have to get a very look clearly the 经 and the 络 in human body, and the channels and the knots, the points. Now let's come to the fifth point, diagnosis. The four examinations. 望闻问切. After we read the news, I talked about 望闻问切. In TCM, diagnosis includes four basic methods: observing, articulation, inquiry, and palpating. And just now, I also said there are different English expressions for 望闻问切. So these methods are also called visual, audio, questioning, and olfactory. Now, let's see the different methods. Observing or visual. 望 is the thorough visual examination of the patient's vitality, complexion, physical condition, and behavior, picture of the tongue, secretion, etc. This is one. We'd better know the patient's vitality and his complexion and he or her physical condition and behavior and the tongue, etc. And when as to judge pathological changes by listening to the patient's voice, moans, breathing, and cough. It also requires the doctor to be aware of the order of the patient's breath, body, and excretor. Here, in Chinese, 闻 means listen. 闻, listen, or hear, or hear. 望 means look. Look, 望. And 问 means ask questions. Inquiring or questioning refers that the practitioner requires about the patient's habits, the medical history, and so on. This is one. One, sorry. And the last is pulse palpating. Regarded as the most important diagnostic method among the four. It is applied to find out the internal condition of a patient's pulse at 3 positions on each of his wrist along the radial artery. So qi, the touch in Chinese, touch. Now, let's see in details 4 examinations. Observation. The practitioner has to look or examine the patient's skin, eyes, tongue, including nails or hair from the color of the hair or dry or moist of the hair. We can know the patient's health condition. And next is articulation and olfactory. The practitioner has to know the patient's sound of voice and breath, order of breath. Interrogation, 问 or inquiring or questioning. The doctor should know the patient's current condition, health history, family health history, partners of sleep, appetite, digestion, bowel movement, sweet, pain, emotion features, lifestyle features. So the practitioner has to ask a lot of questions related to this. Yeah. The next one, the qi. Yeah, qi. Check the body temperature, body moisture, pain, and feel the patient's pulse. This is the 4 kinds of diagnosis. Yeah, here you can see how to do. 望闻问切 how to do. Sorry, time is up. We have to stop here today. The last point we will leave it for the next time. Now let's see our homework. The 3 tasks. The first one, read the following Chinese unrecorded. 中医学以阴阳五行作为理论基础，将人体看作成气形神的同一体，通过望闻问切四诊合参的方法，探求病因、病性、病位，分析病机及人体内五脏六腑、经络关节、气血津液的变化。This is this short paragraph conclude the TCM, everything about TCM. I'd like you to try best to read them in Chinese.
Pardon, Lausha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but you post your screen share, Lausha.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay, Lausha.
Can you see?
Yes, Lausha. Kan tahu, Lausha.
Can you see now?
Yes,
or no?
Lausha.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like you to read this Chinese and try best to understand. And the second point, what do you think has made TCM popular worldwide? I like you write in English or Chinese. Chinese is better if you can write your reasons in Chinese. It's better. Okay? The third one is please read the PDF textbook. Next time, we'll finish talking the last point. And another point is the introduction of Chinese medical works and famous practitioners in history. So next period, we will still talk about Chinese medicine. Do you have any questions?
Lausha?
Please.
Should we also record the second one, or we can write it?
You can write the second one. You can write in English or Chinese. I think Chinese is better.
Okay, Lausha. 懂了，老师，谢谢。
Welcome. Any questions? If there's no question, let's stop here for today. Thank you very much. See you next week.
谢谢老师。
谢谢老师。
OK，
再
See you
见，
next week，老师。
再见，拜拜，
拜拜。
拜拜。
拜。